Tell us what's up. What your plans are for the spring. We had 70-degree weather here in New Jersey just for 2 days, actually. I guess many of us are in the Northeast, and we had some very balmy weather, which was nice. A spring tease, if you will. But why don't we start with Rajiv, then Lynn, then Sarita, not to be forgotten. And I'll put on the timer. If everybody else would go on mute, I'm going to put it in the speaker view, so whoever is speaking should be highlighted. So Rajiv, take it away.
Awesome. Well, a very good evening to you all. For those that didn't know, my name is Rajiv Jadhav. You can look in the Zoom link name. That's my name. I work for a company called R2 Media. We do reputation management. Reputation management basically means that we help clients curate their reputation online. What that means is when customers typically Google them, either before or after doing business with them, it is for the client to ensure that what is seen is favorable to their brand, to their brand proposition, value proposition, etc. What that means is that when a client is Googling you, you typically don't want them to run into any kind of a misinformation or a falsehood or something that might make them rethink their decision about speaking to you or doing business with you. Some of these misinformations or falsehoods could be that when they Google you, they might see someone that looks like you, has the same first name, and that person has a criminal background. And they might think that that's you, and they might think that you're a criminal, and they may not want to do business with you. That actually did happen to a client whom we helped. She managed to salvage a high six-figure job offer, and we were able to help her out really fast. And she didn't know this until the hiring company retracted the offer, and then she found out from the executive recruiter that this was the issue. So this is the whole art of managing your reputation such that what people see is something that aligns with who you are. So that's the preventative, remediate side of reputation management. We also have another service which prevents future occurrences of any kind of misinformation. And that is something especially if you think for whatever reason that you may be attracting a lot of haters out there, then you might want to have this kind of a service where for the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or ongoing, we have the ability of essentially preventing any kind of bad press, even if it does happen, to land on Google page 1, 2, or 3. And essentially your Google 1, 2, and 3 is then pristine. And even if the bad press does happen, like people call you a fake or a fraud or whatever, then all that stuff is going to be relegated to the back part of Google. That's Google page 4 or 5, where mostly just crickets live. Not too many people who venture there. So that's what we do. We are super easy to work with. We have a success guarantee, or the client gets a refund. So it's really simple. We get a lot of our business from referrals, as well as agencies white label us. So I would love to get better acquainted with those of you who either I don't know or are not as acquainted with me. I put my LinkedIn in the chat. I would love to have a conversation. Thanks, Michael.
Absolutely. I just Googled myself to see if I have any problematic links. So far, so good. At least on the first 2 pages, anyway. All right. Thank you so much, Rajiv. Lynn Donaldson, take it away.
Everybody, good evening. This is my second time to the group, and I'm really pleased to see all of you and excited to hear more about what you do. For what I do, I work in the life science space, so that's pharmaceutical and medical devices. And what we do is we help our clients launch their products. We work with medical affairs teams and we work with marketing teams. We predominantly work with medical affairs teams 3 to 4 years prior to launch. And what we do is we help them build the team, then develop the strategy, and then implement that strategy. And Rajiv always insists I tell you that we actually took one product and helped them get $1.3 billion more at launch than expected or forecasted. So we really work very closely with our clients. We tend to work with clients who've never launched a product before and don't know what they're doing. So we coach, we mentor, we train, we do with them. And so that's why we help them build the team, because sometimes they don't know who should be around the table, who should be in that team to help them launch the product. So we'll help them build the team, all the roles and responsibilities, do the RACI chart. Then we'll help them build the strategy, a winning strategy, a $1.3 billion winning strategy. And then we'll help them implement that strategy. And we usually work maybe 6 months to a year after launch with our companies. We work with medical directors and marketing departments, as I said, and we tend to work with mid-sized pharmaceutical companies because they either haven't done the product launch before or they don't have the resourcing, because in mid-sized pharma, they may be 1 or 2 medical directors, whereas in bigger pharma, there's probably 4 or 5 per product. So mid-size are companies who maybe have 1 to 2, 3 products, and they're bringing maybe a product out in a new therapy area that have never been in before, such as the biologics. And they want to, they've never done this area before, so they really don't know what the problems and issues and challenges might be. And that's when we start supporting them. We integrate into their team. We'll work with them 1 to 2 days a week. Our consultants have all launch products in their own right. And we'll put marketing consultants even in with medical affairs teams because it makes them think outside the box. And that's where we've seen a lot of success, but we've helped products come to market, and it's about getting the patients the products that they need so that as quickly as possible and as effectively as possible. We have a motto in our company, people first, people always. It's always about how we can help people. One of the challenges I saw last year and the year before, of course, was with the whole pandemic. I started training or providing leadership training for my clients. So where my team were doing the technical side of providing the launch success, I provide the leadership success, and I'll help with mindset and leadership support. Thank you very much, Lynn Donaldson from Connect Strategic Solutions Group.
Lynn, I have a couple of people I want to introduce you to. One is a marketing guy who has a client in a mid-size pharma company, mostly in women's health.
Perfect.
And they probably have, I don't know, a dozen products.
Yep, that's the perfect space. Thank you, Michael.
Absolutely. Okay. Sarita, not to be forgotten. Sarita.
Okay, hello everyone. Sarita Jackson with the Global Research Institute of International Trade, which is a consulting firm that saves small and mid-sized enterprises, regardless of the sector, time and money, as well as mitigates the risk while taking advantage of the opportunities to buy and sell in the global market through customized market research and global strategy design. So think about, Britt, when a small or mid-sized company is looking to identify new markets and is looking for in-depth quality research and strategy so that they can take the proper steps entering the export market, whether it's from the United States or coming into the United States from day one. And so recently I've worked with a couple of engineering companies that had small engineering companies that have been quite reactive in terms of trying to expand globally. Just if an opportunity comes up, they take advantage of it, but don't really have a preset strategy or a proactive strategy to enter that market. So I work with them so that they can, number one, stop using their own money to fund this venture and save themselves time. And so I did that with research on the advantage of the particular market, but also some of the resources that are available to them, the grants and some contracts that are available to small, mid-sized companies that are looking to expand overseas. So I'm Sarita Jackson with the Global Research Institute of International Trade. I have more time.
You have a minute 24. How did your presentation go? You have a presentation on February 24th.
It went very, very well. So for everyone, it was a It wasn't a webinar, it was a problem-solving session. So we were able to bring a good number of companies from even overseas, from Egypt, Nigeria, Peru, as well as throughout the United States, manufacturers mainly, food manufacturers in the food space. So I keep attracting the food people. So mainly in the food space that were able to come, and we really got a lot of good feedback, because it was more so not just giving them education about international trade, but really bringing people together to understand what are some of the challenges that they're dealing with, and coming up with some solutions. So we have a next session on March 24th. So it went very well.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Wow. Okay. So February 24th and March, exactly 4 weeks later.
Yes.
I remember February 24th because not only was it the day that Russia invaded Ukraine, but it's
Right.
also my birthday. So.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
well,
That
happy
was-
belated birthday.
Yeah, that
An
was
interesting birthday.
Yeah, exactly. And it sounds like you speak Spanish from the way you say Peru.
Oh, sí, claro que sí. Yeah, I speak fluent Spanish. So if anyone, because I'm actually in talks with a company from South America, so I do deal a lot with Latin America and the Caribbean in Spanish.
Wonderful. Okay, we'll say hello to Audrey in Spanish. Audrey, you're up.
Yeah.
Hola, Sarita, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, gracias. ¿Qué onda, güey? No, nada, muy informal, ¿no? Gracias.
De nada. Hi, everybody. I'm Audrey Glover-Dichter. I am the ad law attorney of the group. So I help all of you and your clients be legally compliant with all of your marketing assets in English and Spanish. And yes, now I can even say French. I'm working on that. So I'm going to have to bail a little early because I have French tonight. So I basically, like, if Sarita's client wants to bring in a new product to the US, you can't just import their marketing campaigns or assets from abroad. They need to be legally compliant in the US. So I would review that and help them tweak whatever they need to tweak in order to be legally compliant in the US. And remember, if you have a website or social media campaigns, you are advertising nationally and internationally. So advertising law, intellectual property, privacy law, and ADA online compliance, which I do all four for you, they all apply to you, regardless of size, location, your service, or your product. And to answer your question, Lynn, yes, I know you fall under the FDA, but the FTC is also very involved. So, and that's my main umbrella, but I do work with businesses and just make sure that you're legally compliant, and I'm industry agnostic. So the sky's the limit. I am based in Florida. However, again, because it's federal law, it doesn't matter where I am, doesn't matter where the client is. And if anybody is targeting the US market, then obviously they need to be legally compliant with US law, along with GDPR or other issues that may be going along with. So for example, a website needs to be legally compliant in the US, but as you know, we don't have a GDPR wannabe. We have a mishmash of some federal laws, along with some states, like New York being one of them, that have a privacy law policy. So it depends on where your clients are and what kind of PII you're transferring and where it's coming from. Like if you have a website that sells products or you accept payment online, we really need to talk, because we need to figure out where you're accepting all those payments from to make sure that you are compliant. So that is one big umbrella with 4 laterals. And my 4th lateral is, if anybody happens to get a warning letter from the FTC, the FDA, or a state agency, feel free to call me. I don't litigate, but I do team up with litigators. And if you do get dragged in for a challenge at one of the self-regulatory bodies, I also help you out with that. Audrey Glover-Dichter, call me if you need me.
Good
And
timing.
even if you have questions, just call.
Even if you want to practice your Spanish.
Or
All right.
French.
Or French now. Okay. Stacey Mathis, who I just did a Google on legal copywriting NYC, and she comes up third in the organic listings.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Stacey Mathis. I just wanted to say, Audrey, I always wondered what kind of lawyer did what you do. Does, when I see that, the pricing and stuff about and currency when you're paying for something and they start asking you what country you're paying from, where whatever your currency is. I'm like, what kind of lawyer handles that? And now I know. But anyway, Stacey Mathis, I own a website called Legal Copywriting Central. And we work with primarily with attorneys who basically need to improve their presence on and offline. And we do this in a variety of ways. We help them with their websites or any writing that they need to, that they use to promote or market their business. We also work with marketing teams. A lot of firms have in-house marketing teams or they outsource it, but they need, they can do all the strategizing, but then when it comes to the writing, that's where we come in. We work with law firms, design teams as well. We do work with legal vendors, legal industry vendors. A lot of their vendors whose primary target audiences or clients are lawyers and law firms. And so, for example, one of our clients it's not a law firm, but they're in the legal space, and they were given an opportunity by the Academy, the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers, to publish articles in their online magazine. So they came to us to write those articles because they needed someone with matrimonial expertise, specifically in New Jersey. So, so we wrote those articles for them. So, we do handle a variety of writing projects for all types of folks in the legal space. Stacey of Legal Copywriting Central. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got 52 seconds. Anybody have a question for Stacey in her 52 seconds?
I just say definitely use Stacey because she wrote copy for me, was it last year, regarding my business. I was able to make it short and sweet.
Short and sweet is good.
Thank you.
Because people don't like to read long and bitter. All right. That leads us to Tim, then Barry, then Mark. Tim, you're up.
Hi there. Good afternoon, Ken.
Ken, I think it was Tim Gannon.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sarita, did you say Kay owned that one part at one point?
I did.
What did you study in Mexico? Where you hang out a lot in Mexico? That's very Mexican.
Yes, it is. I realize how I said it out. No, it's for living in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Kay onda.
¿Qué onda, güey?
My name is Tim Gannon. I have a company called Big Work Digital. We're a hybrid marketing production company specializing in video, web, and design. Our client base includes like Hudson News, the travel retail company, SMBC, gigantic Japanese bank, which we're doing another video for them in 2 months. And we work with companies to help tell their message, and we choose the best message for them. We help them, we guide them, we lead them to have a message that resonates with the audience. So right now we're working on 4 different projects, 3 videos and a combination video and website and SEO marketing, which I outsourced for the SEO for. That in a nutshell is what I do. And besides practicing my Spanish with Sarita and Audrey, that's really what I do.
Anything on the horizon for spring, or any particular story you want to tell about how you pulled a rabbit out of the hat, as what's her name says, whatever.
I'll tell you a story about a client that I just got, and I got pushback on the budget. It's not that expensive of a video, but it's a $12,000 video, and he says, let's have I want to talk to you. I said, okay, so we had a call last week. And he goes, why is this, $11,800 video? When I hired this guy for $650 a day, you're charging me $4,000 to shoot it. And I said, well, here's the thing about what I do. If it's $10,000 or $50,000 or $100,000, I'm going to spend all that money. I'm going to spend it. And what's going to happen is it's going to elevate the quality that you get. That might mean we're buying special lenses. Like we picked up a couple lenses that.
Whoops, speaking about lenses.
Sorry about that. We picked up a couple of lenses that would make his video better. Because he has a luxury storage / moving business. So they do, his clients include SMBs, or not SMBs, banks, and it's all high-end companies. And I said, you have very sophisticated clients, and you need a sophisticated video. You can't have the crap, I didn't say crap, but it's crap on his website. It was, whoever shot it, why do we want to see it stacked chairs? It's like, what are you shooting here? So he signed the contract. So we're moving forward. So the bottom line is, I don't know what the bottom line is other than say, sometimes you get pushback and you better have a reason to justify why you're charging so much.
Right.
Better lenses. At least that's one good reason.
Yeah.
Barry, then Mark, then Scott Lange.
Hey, everybody, I will do this quickly because I'm going to have to leave in a little while. Sorry about that. I'm Barry Lowenthal, and I'm a longtime media guy. I've worked in agencies for the last 30 years. And the agency that I was most recently running, called Media Kitchen, was shuttered. It was folded into another one of the holding company's agencies. And now I am trying to figure out what the next thing is for me. I've enjoyed this group. I'm starting to learn how to be the Uber networker. So I'm learning a lot from all of you. I like the way that you all present yourselves and your credentials and how you do it in 3 minutes. That's all been very fascinating to watch. I will tell you that networking can be really overwhelming, and I'm looking forward to talking to you, Michael, next week, I think. It's amazing how when you start going down the rabbit hole, it's just an infinite number of possibilities, which is just extraordinary. I've come to the conclusion that it is just an exercise in prioritizing. Because some networking is just more valuable than others. It seems like it's a numbers game in some way. But anyway, so I've grown up planning and buying media. That is what I do, and I'm looking to stay in the media game. I do not want to work at another agency. That is not my plan. But I would like to stay close to the media business, which is something I'm very passionate about. So thank you all for your time. And Michael, thank you for putting this together for all of us.
Absolutely. So you don't want to work at an agency. Are you looking to work on the client side?
Clients better go work for a media owner. I have a very particular point of view on purpose-driven brands and the responsibility that I think some brands should take when they, not some brands, all brands should take when they advertise. So I want to work for brands that understand that when they spend money with certain media companies, they are funding certain behaviors, and they need to take some responsibility for the consequences of those actions. And some brands understand that and some brands don't. And I would like to work for the brands that do. And if you would like to expand on that, I'm perfectly happy to.
Yeah, I know somebody who has some interesting technology in the ad safety space. If that's more about juxtaposition of ads and content that don't go together.
Yeah, I think ad tech is really exciting, and I've spent a lot of time in that, like with Double Verify and so on. But I'm really interested in the intersection between media and creative, and what happens when just the right message falls into the market, or is placed into the market, or is injected into the market. That's always been really exciting to me.
That's helpful. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us again.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Absolutely, I love the abstract. It's not so abstract. The modern painting in the background there.
Thank you.
Print. All right, let's see. After Barry, Mark, Iorio, then Scott, then David Libby.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Thanks, Barry. A good follow-up to what you just said a few minutes ago is a business that I've been running with my my business partner for the last decade, which is a brand and culture alignment program. We've developed a proprietary cognitive tool that helps brand, which we believe is everything. Brand is everything you do, and culture, aligning those two things together for a specific purpose. And we do it by asking a question. The first question we ask is, imagine your entire organization as though it were a single person doing its best work on its best day. What does that look like? Achieving all of its goals and objectives. What does that look like? And our survey instrument is very cool. It's 80 questions. It's a bunch of exercises. And what it does is, as you start to look at specific words and phrases, parts of your brain, your frontal cortex, actually light up. And we put those results into quadrants, and we end up with a set of aligned inspirations or codes of conduct or behavioral traits, commandments, if you will, for the organization. Share that with the entire company. And then we ask each person to come back to us with a set of personal alignment plan commitments. What are their observable behavioral changes that they can make each and every day that get them closer to this business avatar, this North Star, this purposeful organization. And then we follow that up with accountability meetings, workshops that where we ask each and every individual to, recite those personal alignment plans and make sure that they are being held accountable for doing the things that they say they're going to do. So it does a lot. It changes the engagement in the organization. It breaks down silos. It allows organizations to collaborate in a more effective way, teams to collaborate in a more effective way. And you see all kinds of things happen as a result: higher productivity, higher valuation. It's a great business. We've done about 11,000 of these over the last decade. So businesses of any size.
So Mark, have you met Kevin Perlmutter at Limbic Brand Evolution?
Kevin's a good friend. He's yeah, we're kind of in the same space.
Yeah.
We complement each other, and we've had several dozen conversations.
Okay, good.
But thanks, Michael. That's he's perfect. Kevin's perfect.
Yeah, he's in the right mindset in terms of,
Limbic.
Yep, limbic mindset. All right.
You got it.
Okay.
Thanks, Michael.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining again today. Scott, Lange, David, Libby, Karen, Dwayne. So Scott.
Well, again, good afternoon, everybody. I think I'm familiar with everyone here, maybe not Lynn and David so much, but I've spoken with many of you. Stacey, I'm not sure we have, but and either collaborated to go after work, Tim, which we did not win, but that's not our fault. I saw the guys. So basically, you're all really in business with a very good focus, and I'm learning a lot that I should become more focused, perhaps. The moniker, basically what I do is provide marketing partnerships and solutions, or sponsorships and solutions. You really can't sell something to somebody as a sponsorship unless you're providing some form of solution. So it's usually raising the money for some type of property, including Spot the Ball with Mike that I worked on, Michael, and I had a game. He created the game. I went out to Major League Soccer. So I partner with various properties. Got some RFPs right now going out with Olympic and national governing bodies. I can't mention them. I'm on a NDA on that. I am going to be working on what was the New York Times travel show, Tim, if Hudson News would be interested, but it's going to be a new title sponsor. And I mentioned last time about a deal I put together for entrepreneurs, supporting entrepreneurs with knowledge, tools, and support that UPS is funding. Brought just a couple of weeks ago, JP Morgan Chase in with a grant for the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce, which is another client of mine. And so I work across a very broad spectrum of properties in terms of sports, entertainment, philanthropy, and also provide on an as-needed basis with certain clients a virtual type of agency, meaning that I'll team up with a Tim Gannon, I'll team up with others here. I've spoken with Audrey just the other day about some legal issues with a client. By the way, she's raising her head again in Italy. She's finally going to come back. She was sick, very sick with long COVID. I have a client in Italy going to import sauces and certain types of products. So basically, it's not original, but I'm kind of a Swiss Army knife of marketing after a 40+ year career in marketing. And I focus it on, if I don't own it, which I own my own company, but I sell it for others. And that's really what I do. And everybody here I could work with in one way, shape, or form, except Rajiv, because he does what I do, of course, but no. I know, seriously, no, Rajiv is someone else that with reputation management and everything, it's very important.
You mentioned food imports. Have you and Sarita touch base?
Sarita and I have spoken. I have sent a memo to the client. I hope to get Sarita involved with this project. The company is IDIB. Italy Does It Better. That's the name of the food parent holding company, but those aren't the brand names. We need focus groups. We need SEO when we open up, Mark. Mark and I were just talking the other day about Jane Parker, my other client, for our new liqueur cakes and fruit cake. So, maybe I'm the fruit cake. I'm all over the place, right?
All right. Thank you.
And we have to do a better website, Tim.
My computer's telling me I'm low on system resources. Hopefully that won't mean it's going to crash. So let's see. I just closed a bunch of tabs on my browser.
There is something funky going on with Zoom in the last few days. I don't know whether it's the war in the Ukraine or what, but, and I'll just quickly share this. A friend of mine has the Spirits Network. I don't know if you know Nick Buzzle. He's a very successful executive producer. And he had about a dozen of his tech people in Ukraine. He's going nuts.
Yeah, it's an issue. Okay. Let's see. After Scott, it was David, then Karen, then Ken. David, you're up.
Thanks, Michael. Hey, everybody. Good to see you again. I think I've told most of you what I do over and over for the past, I don't know how many weeks or months we've been doing this. So yeah, I thought maybe I would put out an offer, Michael, if that's all right.
Sure.
So I do public relations. I've been doing public relations for 28 years. We all know what PR is. I've been most of my career, I've been doing it for B2B tech startups. And over the years, PR people, they morph. They did web development, web design, content, social media became a thing. I love to do PR. I'm great at it. I got a lot of case studies to prove it. If you visit my site, twopins.com, you can see what we do. What I do for folks that refer business to me is I give them 10%, it's a high number in this business, of the gross fees of the client for the life of the client. So if, and I'm not asking you to craft an email and reach out to your friends and family and say, hey, here's someone to work with. What I'm asking is if you happen to know someone who's a B2B tech startup, marketer, or executive, and I can just say, hey, Michael referred me to you, or Lynn or whomever, right, said, hey, and then I can just drop your name. There you go. If I win the business, I will pay you 10% of the entire account as long as I have it. And sometimes the accounts are hundreds of dollars, sometimes they're thousands of dollars. So that's pretty much it. Aside from that, the biggest part of our reputation is really helping these startups accelerate to their exits. and we get them going with their marketing, their PR, their content, and their social. And all of a sudden, they are the darling, and Microsoft wants to acquire them. Google wants to acquire them. They, people want to fund them. So it's been a fun 28 years.
What's a typical monthly retainer?
For a B2B tech startup, it's about $5,000 a month.
Okay. Okay, because you mentioned
just for the PR portion.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
So,
And so
Yep.
a referral fee would be in that case $500 a month for as long as that's great.
Yep. No questions.
And that's probably on your profile as well, the 10% referral fee. And the
what folks usually do is when we have this conversation, they'll ask if I have a referral agreement.
Okay.
And I'll actually send them a legal referral agreement and put the 10% in there. So
okay. Yeah, if you want, clearly you don't have to, but if you want to put that in your profile, there's a place for it, your standard referral fee.
I will do that.
On the page. Okay.
I'll add that. Yep. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's see. Karen was on, but I think she might have dropped off. I don't see her. Okay, no, she's not on anymore. So Ken Simon and then Mark. Ken, you're up.
Hello there, Ken Simon, KBS Marketing. I work with small and mid-sized companies, helping them understand who their customers are, what their needs are, and then develop strategies for them to use to grow their business. You were asking like what fun things that I did. I wasn't down in Washington this past week, and I was looking for that the convoy. I kept missing it. They kept going around 495 and didn't create any traffic jams. But I do have to say the police and the National Guard were out in force all over DC. Seems that we're very worried about that. But so I work with companies, but B2B, B2C, mostly B2B in the finance, tech space, also service area, helping them figure out what their needs are and helping them grow their business through like lead gen, campaign development. I've been involved with helping some companies with raising capital and pitch decks and marketing plans and business plans. So I'm looking for. I usually work with companies that like have had products or their marketing isn't working and they come to me and I help figure out why it's not working and then develop a strategy to get it to work. If you know anybody who needs that help, let me know. Ken Simon.
And Ken and I had a conversation about an interesting prospective client. I won't mention who they are, but they've got a security technology for protecting against theft on the road.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It's like I've been all of a sudden I've been dealing with a lot of startups, which was very surprising. I'm working with another security company that does email validation. They're in beta testing. They raised something like $4 million in seed funding. So we'll see. But anyway, so I guess a lot of security stuff now, but interesting things, interesting times.
Absolutely. And yeah, theft is real and hacking is real, and it becomes more real when you get hit.
Yes.
All right. And Mark, I always haven't gotten this right yet. Herre? Or
it is pronounced Harry.
Herre, almost. Okay.
There you go. It's a German name. It stands for gentleman. So
okay.
I have gentleman agreements, speaking of a gentleman, with my clients that I work with. It's usually done with a thumbs up, let's get started, kind of an arrangement. For the last 14 years running a business, when I started in 1996, I started a little company called SEO Game, which just provided for myself and my wife, and pretty soon my children started growing. Now they're all in college and everything. But it's called SEO Game, and I provide white label SEO, or I work as a reseller for vendors who want to kick the tires and try out 30-day trials on their websites. It was an interesting thing how I started that, because 14 years ago, I was already working with digital marketers, and they would never pay upfront money. They would just say, just work on this website, and I know you're good. And ta-da, a light bulb went on, and I said, why don't I just no longer work with clients anymore? And I did. I went full in and worked just strictly with digital marketing agencies, and I worked with SEO companies. And at times, I sometimes am managing hundreds of websites. It was funny. One time, a digital marketing agency, dentist, decided to give me 50 websites to start all at once. And have you ever done dental implants for 50 websites, all in competitive areas, 50 clients? Well, I did. I did. It was after a webinar. They even gave a Tesla away to get all these doctors to join. Then they did it again. So they did another webinar, and I got another 50 new clients from that. And so that's the kind of clients I like to work with, niche agencies. And I help them with their keyword audits. Michael and Scott, I've given you guys a sample of what a keyword audit looks like. I go bold with a keyword audit. Nobody wants to have their keywords optimized for left-handed screwdriver technicians in Salt Lake City, where I'm at. They want to be bold. They want to go after the plumbers near me. They want to be number one. So that's what I do, is I focus on a game plan for the digital marketer and get their rankings for their clients so they look good, and then hopefully I get paid along the way.
I noticed the chess piece looks like a queen, although maybe it's a king. I'm not sure.
It is the queen. Who knows anything about the queen?
It can move in more ways than any other.
More powerful. Anyway.
More powerful. Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much. So if anybody, I guess your ask is connections to digital agencies that want to add SEO or supplement their existing SEO resources.
That's correct. Anyone like Tim, who outsources some SEO at times. I'm good at providing a keyword audit to help with a one-page report to identify the top keywords. That usually gets sent to the digital marketing client, and they're ready to go. They're like, okay, how do I sign up?
Wonderful. So maybe you guys, the two of you, should talk. Okay. I guess it's me. I'm the last one up. I'll put my timer on. So I'm Michael Bendit. My core business is software development resources, which is I'm an independent sales rep for about 10 teams. Like Mark, Herre. I think I pronounced that correctly this time. I do a lot of work in partnership with digital marketing agencies. We are often the people that are building the sites behind the scenes. The agency is often designing the site or doing the strategy and maybe some other things like SEO, design work, etc. And we are getting into the nitty-gritty, the engine of the platform. So my teams tend to be pretty technically oriented. And my job is to match the team with the prospective client. I just actually had a call today with somebody who spoke to one of my teams and felt for some reason it wasn't a match, which is fine because I have another team to offer that has perhaps a little bit more design skills that they will need for the project. A small project, probably $4,000 or $5,000 WordPress website. Another good example, I was brought on by a design agency for a Shopify site in the beauty space. They're moving from WordPress WooCommerce, which is the most well-known or most widely used shopping cart on WordPress, to Shopify. And that's going to be about $125,000 site. Again, very different, much more complex, lots of integrations. They've got NetSuite. They need to integrate with NetSuite. So it was incumbent upon me to bring a team that has that level of depth and experience in building and integrating Shopify with other systems. They also happen to have done a fair amount of work in the beauty space, which always helps. Clients, as most of us know, like to see domain or industry, vertical industry expertise as well. It's probably not as relevant to the actual work, but it does lend a degree of credibility that you've worked in their space, that you understand their lingo, et cetera. So great leads for me, of course, are digital marketing agencies that don't always have the resources in-house to do the programming. Somebody that may have been relying on a Russian team or a Ukrainian team. I have a Ukrainian team, and I'd love to continue working with them, but right now they're hunkering down. A Russian team, I don't know if I'll work with a Russian team again for a long time. So I do have a range of companies or agencies that I work with, and there is some overlapping capabilities, so I can switch or recommend a team that is not currently in the middle of a war. I'll end. I didn't miss anybody, did I? I'm going to go back to the gallery mode. Okay, didn't miss anybody. We do have 6 minutes or so if anybody wants to raise some issues. Oh, I do want to mention that we have another webinar coming up on the 16th. That's Wednesday. It's the webinar that we do in conjunction with serial marketers. It's called the Monthly Marketing Salon, I think, series. And this one is going to be led by Audrey Lowenthal, who is the head of brand engagement at Verizon. She is probably going to be dialing in from South by Southwest to tell us all what we missed. To tell us.
Michael, could you repeat that? Who is it? What day?
Audrey Lowenthal. If you go to, it was listed in my newsletter this week, past week, and the week before. It will be listed again.
All right.
It's also on the site under events.
Okay.
I'll bring it up. Let me see, Trust Ref. So if you go onto the website, and you go to.
Is that the 11 a.m.?
No, it's we do have an 11 a.m. that day, but under events, seminars, and networking. Come on, open up here. Here it is. What's most salient for marketers at South by Southwest? So you could find it there, and that'll link you to a registration page.
Thanks.
Absolutely. So tell your friends it's free. Anybody who wants to know, from somebody who's in the know, being, I guess, head of brand engagement at Verizon, she's certainly in the know. I don't know how big her budget is, but she's going to be there, and she's going to tell us what was most salient for marketers at South by Southwest. And then we'll do that for about 25 minutes, and then we'll go into networking, probably breakout groups. So any comments, questions? If you want to put your contact information or LinkedIn in the chat, now would be a good time to do it. Any head? Lynn and Mark, we should talk about getting you both in the network officially. So grab a time on my calendar, or just ping me and we'll get you on the calendar.
A comment about Ken's about the expansion or explosion of entrepreneurship. Since I've worked with the Lonely Entrepreneur and the Black Entrepreneur Initiative over the last 2 years, did a lot of studying about what's going on between what was happening with coronavirus, the lockdown, the working from home, et cetera. And basically, there's just been a real explosion of entrepreneurship in this country. I'm sure all of you know it, but it's just that's what's going on, is this great resignation that they're talking about. It's really a lot of people who have decided, because of the experiences over the last few years, hey, I can do it from home, or hey, I have another skill and I can do it this way or that way. So this is not at all uncommon now for many people to be going the direction of more independent or teaming up with, like we do with other outsource and putting teams together and working in independence, but with teams.